Welcome to Pat Writes Books. The video you're about to watch is intended for mature audiences. It will likely contain an abundance of cursing, adult discussions, and worst of all, personal opinions. So chill out, grab a snack, and enjoy the show. Take it away, Sensei.
How's it going, everyone? It's Pat, your friendly internet wordsmith, and today we are going to be diving back into character arcs, more specifically the redemption arc and how to write one. As a reminder, a redemption arc is a specific type of character arc in which a character starts off filling a more negative role in the story, and throughout the course of the narrative transitions into a more positive one. Now, this is a very delicate thing to pull off and can be very easy to fuck up, so here are my 5 tips on how to do that successfully, starting with number 1, and that is don't try to redeem a piece of shit. Have you ever read a story where the villain or antagonist or whoever, it doesn't matter who, this person has committed some serious heinous acts, like they've really done some fucked up shit, like offing the main character's best friend or mother, or kick their dog or something. Some seriously fucked up shit has gone down, and it's been because of this villain. But then at the end of the book, the MC spares this character's life, forgives them, does the noble shit protagonists do. And then, I don't know, maybe the sequel comes along, and this bastard, despite everything they did in the first book, does like 1 or 2 acts of kindness toward the protagonist. They start coming around more and more, and we're supposed to just pretend like, yeah, all the fucked up shit they did prior just it didn't happen in the last book. We're just gonna slide that off to the side. Yeah, see, that is what the professionals call sucking a whole lot of ass. Don't do that. If you're gonna write a redemption arc for a character while they're on the bad side, you have to be mindful of their actions, because there are frankly just some things you can't come back from. Their actions need to be impactful enough to where they impact the story and therefore matter for the reader and whatnot, but not so impactful and damaging to the protagonist that they're just unforgivable. On to tip number 2, and that is you have to take your time. Arguably, the worst thing you can do when redeeming a character is to rush through the arc. This is and should be a major thing because it is a dramatic shift in the way a character thinks, feels, and acts. As such, the character should be riddled with doubt. They should be second guessing themselves. Furthermore, a redemption should not be a singular event. Oftentimes, when you have a character going through such a dramatic shift that it changes their perspective, their thoughts, their feelings, their actions, when you have such a big change like that, it's a gradual shift. There's gonna be basically a tug of war going on there between their old self and the way they used to behave and act and feel and all that stuff, and the new life they're trying to break into. There's gonna be a push and pull there. The key thing to remember here is that for the character being redeemed, the wrong way has been a place of comfort, probably for a very long time. And whenever you're leaving a realm of comfort, even if it's for the better, there's going to be a struggle there. By showing that struggle, you instantly boost the credibility and believability, all that good stuff. You instantly elevate the redemption arc just by showing that internal struggle. Tip number 3, you need to make the character likable in some way. This tip kind of piggybacks on the first one a little bit, and just like, you shouldn't try to redeem a character who's complete scum, you shouldn't try to redeem a character that's not really liked. I'm not saying that the character is in the same vein of the first, in which they're just a complete asshole. It's more so along the lines of, if the character's not winning any popularity contests, your reader's gonna find it pretty hard to locate a fuck to give for this redemption. The best redemption arcs typically have one thing in common, and that's the character being redeemed generally has at least one quality that the reader likes. Now, that could be the character having an extremely sharp wit, they're funny, Perhaps they have an honor code in which there's a line that they just won't cross, and they invoke a feeling of, damn, this character's pretty cool, just wish he wasn't with the bad guys. Or I don't know, maybe the character's just fine as hell. But in all seriousness, if the character you're trying to redeem has at least one likable quality, there's a good chance that the reader could also be rooting for that character to have a redemption arc. And if that happens to be the case, they're going to jump for joy when they reach that part and they see that, things finally come around for that character. Tip number 4, don't just sweep things under the rug. Just because your character has now found redemption doesn't mean any of the terrible things that they didn't happen. In order for the redemption arc to be complete, satisfying, and believable, that character needs to face the consequences of their actions and pay the appropriate price. Seriously, if this character has been a thorn in the MC side for chapters upon chapters, they've done damage to the protagonist and their crew, or whatever they've done, if everything's just cool once they've been redeemed and everyone's buddy now, it's going to read as incredibly forced, and it's gonna suck the reader out of the narrative. Now, obviously, there are varying degrees to this. If the character you're trying to redeem was once the villain's right hand, that's going to take a lot of work to fully redeem that character. However, if we're talking about just some dude who plays in between a minor and major role, he's been more of a nuisance than anything, that's not going to take as much work. And my final tip, don't force the redemption. So this is probably the most divisive tip on the list, and what I mean by it is to stop and think critically on whether or not their story needs a redemption arc at all. In my personal opinion, redemption arcs have been on the rise in popularity over the years, and it seems like a lot of stories feature them in some kind of way, but that doesn't mean that every story needs to have one. If your sole purpose on writing a redemption arc and including it into the story is to fill some arbitrary quota because that's what everyone else is doing, then you probably shouldn't be writing the redemption arc, because there's a good chance it's gonna read like you're only including it to fill an arbitrary quota. And that's gonna do it for this one. Redemption arcs can be a powerful and entertaining story device if you do it right, and now you know how. So go out there and redeem you some characters. Feel free to hop down in the comments below. I'd love to get your opinion on this topic.
Thanks for kicking it with us. If you had a good time, go ahead and slap that like button. And if you're new, consider subscribing, because we do this every week. Of course, you're going to want to hit that bell too so you never miss an upload. Have an awesome day, achieve something great, and we'll catch you later.